Wow.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you for matching that. Matching that vibe. You're really good. Okay.
It's me. I'm the one. It's me. Okay. So last session we had just finished in the fighting pits, and we had escaped via water. So the session started with us waking up on the next day after much carousing and celebrating and recovering. There was much roleplay surrounding Soup and Topharos trying to create an iron bowl. It is also revealed that Vesserin has a crush on Jace Radovid. We talk about the auction and how to obtain the shard. And we go to the Fishnet Market to look for information about the auction. We find out that the Blue Maw was trying to shore up cash via the auction. Most of the items have been put up by the Blue Maw. We also find out that their guild hall is ocean locked. It's like on an island away from the rest of the of Gaffertown. Vesserin gets some shaved ice, and they all sit down to discuss the findings with that they've heard. Kai says that he heard some dwarves reference a Sonstone that they're trying to purchase, but it looks like it's packaged with the shard that we're after, as well as what's the glass? Shit, what's it called?
Warp glass.
Warp glass. Thank you. So it's sort of all been packaged together to sort of drive the price higher. The dwarves are part of the Lavis Pierce Nation. They're kind of dressed in typical garb associated with that group. A little background: Sonstones convert sound energy into an an aurora borealis type effect. So we go to try to speak to this trio of dwarves, seeing if they'd be willing to pool resources and try to purchase the items together. But they are unconvinced. They do, they do leave us a line saying that if we can find other people to sort of back us financially, then they might be more amenable to it. They are staying at the Campy Hippocampy in town. And then right at the end of the session, Topharos ribs Vesserin about her crush on Jace a little bit. And that's pretty much all that happened, as far as my notes would say.
Reveal. Yes, indeed. Really good recap. Thank you. Helps me kind of spark off some stuff. My mic wasn't working. If you go back and watch this later for details or for humor, you will notice that none of my words were audible until just now. So it's a classic problem for me. But anyways, doesn't matter. We didn't miss anything important. The recap was the most important part. I will give an overarching recap here. Veteran, don't forget to add an Evergreen Hero Point and 10 experience points to mark that you have given a recap in this cycle. The only thing, I'll give an overarching bit of a recap. So the party is here in Gafferton, looking to collect shards of the Veosi corpse. There are a number of them missing, spread out across the world from the time of its destruction some millennia ago, which need to be collected and taken back to Astropor, there to reconstruct the Veosi and then properly destroy it, since it's kind of existing in this sort of quasi half slain state. When it was originally slain, there weren't enough individuals on standby nearby to absorb all of its vertices powers, and so they were allowed to be slowly reaccumulated in the cube, and that allowed it to cling to a facsimile of life for these eons that it has been sheltered away. In order to kill it proper, you need to collect those shards, take them back, revive it, and then murder it, with enough people there to absorb its godlike powers. So good luck finding anyone interested in that. Anyway, so the party did travel. They learned all this from one of the previous holders of the life vertex, and then traveled from the Majocratic nation of Veonia. These names, who comes up with these names? Ridiculous. From the Majocratic nation of Veonia down to the pirate collective, the flotilla city of Gaffertown, the Ganfar collective, where they ran into Moore, a member of a recently genocided pirate crew here in the collective. So I hope that was enough recap to get everyone back into... My brain's a little all over the place tonight. So right now, you all are in the fishnet market. Don't laugh at me, Devin. I can see you. You're on screen. You're the one. You get to be the lucky one that I can see at all times, but no one else is talking. Discord has chosen you. I believe
the chosen one.
I believe that last time we ended, perhaps you went back to the guild hall, or perhaps you're still at Fishnet Market. I don't know. Does anyone remember or care?
I do not remember nor care.
Okay. In that case, let's just be back at the... No. We'll still be in the fish market. It'll be around 1 p.m. We'll be missing Chavis tonight, and we're still waiting on Jerry, but everyone else, feel free to engage in a little bit of light role play, and then we'll see where the day takes us.
More, this probably might not even be in your wheelhouse, might be something that is inappropriate for us to ask, but you know if the coffers would support the White Orca, Pale Orca's endeavoring in this with a warp class.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Sid.
Yeah.
You like got them?
I wanted to give you some information that Moore would have, and that
Cool.
yeah, Pale Orcas could definitely afford to purchase the warp
Yeah.
class. It's a matter of whether or not they'd want it.
Right. That was kind of the bent that I was gonna take, so I'm
Perfect.
glad we're aligned with that. Cool.
Good. Like
Yeah,
it's a valuable thing, but it requires someone who's really good at. It's hard to work. You need a master smith to make it into something useful.
Well, I mean, this is sure we've got the money. we got the money. Don't worry about that. But it's more of along the lines of what do we do with it? And which, hey, maybe you could convince Jace. I don't know. I don't really know what you use warp glass for. Not really in my wheelhouse, but I'm sure somebody knows how to work with it.
One of us, somebody recognized that you could make a weapon. It could be forged into a weapon, but that was all. But also, that it was very difficult. Yeah.
David's got a lot of contacts too, so I don't know. It might be worth it to him. Maybe bring it up.
Oh, we definitely should talk to David.
There is.
That's
There's potentially one other source of gold here, and I'm not sure on it at all, but I have a
If you
feeling.
can convince him that he can make some coin off of it, you're probably gonna be golden.
Well, that's not. Well, I was thinking, if not, if we didn't go that route, there's one other person that I think might be here, but I have no evidence of. But if I were on the run, it had claimed a few thousand gold bounty on an infamous bounty hunter himself. I feel like I might have ended up here.
Good possibility. There's a lot of bounty hunters here.
You are suggesting what I think you're suggesting.
I am.
Yes, why don't you come out and say it? Sergin encourages you to speak plainly.
I think Ganyon's here. I think Ganyon might be here.
Was that a name that I would recognize offhand?
No.
No. Cool. Sid said no roll. No. No shot.
He's an NPC from Astropor that has played a heavy
I
role
think
in the campaign to date. But
Okay, cool.
yeah.
And you believe he might be willing to partially fund this thing?
Even if there is no guilt for what went down, what I do think is that he's hiding and doesn't want people asking questions, doesn't want us around, especially, to ruin that. So I feel like we could be convinced to pay for us to leave, if nothing else. If he were here, if we were to find him.
Topharos, the party was just discussing the possibility that, well, do you need a recap at all?
Do I need a recap of the events of last session? I did take notes. So can I hold on?
Are we gonna double recap tonight? That's fine.
No, I don't think I do. Because I think I have notes from last session.
Okay.
But is there anything that you as the DM feel like I need to know in particular to be reminded of?
No, because that's like when you're watching a CW show and then it says previously on Supernatural, and then it shows you like a 30-second clip of all the stuff that's happened over the last 4 seasons of Supernatural. Then you kind of can guess what's going to happen because the clips that they show you.
Those recaps are intended to specifically lead you to what they're going to. Yes, okay. So I know about the Fishnet, which is the Mercantile Center of Gafferton, and
That's where the
Levis
party
Pierce.
is currently. Yes.
Lavis Pierce, which is the shockwave-looking region south of Baladus, the society of mostly dwarves that lead an ascetic lifestyle. I did take several notes.
We are currently discussing who the tertiary / actually primary funder of this endeavor would
Benefactor,
be.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you
And
recall that the dwarves are interested in the Sandstone, and you all are interested in the Vaosi shards, although you don't know how they're going to be marketed. They're just listed on the, like, not playbill, but on the, like, catalog, I should say. I can't remember. As natural crystal, rare natural crystal. But so the Vaosi shards, And then there's the warp glass that is also in this same lot in the auction. The warp glass is unequivocally has the highest value at market because it's a known product that is valuable and can be sold like as a trade good around the world, but also can be worked into a powerful magical item. So warp glass has intrinsic value that is like market value. Whereas the other two items, Sandstone is not incredibly valuable on its own. It's like a pretty trinket sort of thing. And even though it's known what its value is, it's not like the driver of this lot. And then the natural crystal is like, you get the impression even the people who have put this together don't really know what it is or what it's worth. But the last time the dwarves revealed to you that it would be very unlikely for bidding to start under 800 gold. Just for the value of the warp glass. Even if there were nothing else in here. So because it's not being parceled out, it's all in one lot to drive up the prices. One of the party's options here is to find someone interested in the warp glass and kind of go in on the bidding and find out if there's not a more way to acquire it.
We have not found someone for that yet.
No, not necessarily, no. Also, Oleander has just kind of started. You're all kind of sitting around in the fish net market. There's like a set of picnic tables. There's some street food. You're kind of lounging near one another. Just people watching, taking the sights, enjoying the afternoon. Vestrin has some shaved ice. And Oleander mentioned that. It seems somewhat likely just because of the nature of Gafferton that Ganyan would want to be here. It's an easy place to go to ground and still have access to like the global market and news network, not news, but like, keep up with current affairs, but not be at risk of being discovered. So that's the middle of the conversation that we're in now, is that Oleander has kind of brought up the fact that maybe Ganyan is somewhere in town, and he might be of assistance.
We wouldn't have a way of contacting him unless we do.
There are ways to get people to come out if they don't, even when they don't want to be seen. I wanted to talk to you about this, Jerry. I wanted to refer to a plan that we have, but I don't know what it would be called.
Project Artichoke?
Okay. What was that?
No, I didn't know if you were prompting me to make one up, or did you need?
I have not given you the context of the plan yet, so that's fine. Yeah, if you just put a name, that's perfect. Yes. Yeah, sure. What's the name?
Project Artichoke.
Project Artichoke.
So Project Artichoke is to talk about the person enough, like they come out of the woodworks, like an artichoke does. For some reason, that's what we thought.
Like an artichoke does. Yeah.
Wait, hold on, stop.
I never think about artichokes until I see artichoke tips, and then I see it everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just wanted. I don't understand.
Yeah, I was saying that I was role playing, and then I was like, oh wait, I didn't do this yet. Doesn't matter. It's Project Art.
This is an Alabaster Fleet thing that happened.
Yeah. This is yes.
Oh yeah. Okay, sure. Project Artichoke. Okay.
Yeah. I mentioned we could do Project Artichoke. That's all I say there, and I say look over at Turferos, not thinking about no one else not knowing what that means.
I suppose we could. I
look around.
I'm sorry, you totally just made that word up.
No,
Well, not the word
no, I've heard
artichoke,
that
but-
word before. That's a word.
We had several
Not artichoke,
projects.
but you made.
Yeah, no projects.
That's
I had
made
a lot
up.
of them as kids when in school. We had project all the time.
Projects.
I didn't make that word up either. they're two words that are real. Yeah, no, I wasn't the one who came up with the idea for it. Blame whoever did that. Anyway, the idea for the plan is you just talk about someone enough. If you have a mark that you don't know where they're at, one of the ways to smoke them out is especially if they might be hiding themselves, they're gonna want to deal with that somehow. So you can find a lead that way. Even if you can't find a connection, they're gonna potentially find you eventually. It doesn't always work. Regularly doesn't work, but it is an option.
This is true.
Also,
So
will draw
and now
a
the
lot
best
of
of
attention to yourself, but it might be worth a shot. As long as you're not going into any enemy territory, right? I mean, we did kind of cause a little bit of a stir.
I pull out a wig. That's okay.
Why do you need? Okay.
Well, I reference a different plan.
Okay.
That you weren't familiar with, actually.
That was
Oh,
the
wait,
one
that
that
was
was on the
a-
blue bebe chip.
At this moment,
Mithril-
bells begin to ring in the city. Ding, ding, bing, ding, bing, bang, ding, ding, bang, ding, 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 from all directions, all around. A cacophony. People begin to kind of like look up. Market merchants begin to like roll up their stalls. They lift up walls that cover up their little gondolas that are their stalls are basically gondolas. They can just roll right up to the catwalks. So they start to close those up, climbing inside. There's kind of a cacophony going on. More, this is not incredibly uncommon, but it's not like a weekly event, maybe once a month. This is generally an alarm that something's been seen approaching the city on the horizon. And it's usually not just a single ship wouldn't cause this kind of alarm. It would be like a nation's armada is, or someone of some, either they're flying flags of a color that you know is an adversary of Gaffer, or doesn't usually trade here, and so there's some cause for alarm, literally.
Okay. Shit. Guy Hayes, we need to get back to the Orcas now. And really, honestly, on the way, if we can get to some high ground, maybe we can see what's going on. We need to look toward the ocean. Let's go.
What is
Ocean's all
happening?
around.
Just do it. Let's go.
Okay.
Get on the way. And he explains
Yeah,
while we're
sure.
in motion, like, kind of what's going on. That, like, impossible to know unless you go look.
Indeed. Yeah. What are you guys doing in response to Moore's urging?
I mean, I will follow him.
Follow him.
I'll
Going
follow
back-
Richard.
I thought so, but I wanted
To
to be
base
sure.
camp.
This is a role-playing game, so as you all begin to make your way back through Gafferton, over the many catwalks and bridges, you have to actually climb a couple of ladders to get up out of the fishnet market sort of basin onto a general walking level. Most of the sidewalks in Gafferton are probably 5 to 10 feet off of sea level to account for swell and waves, so you have to kind of get up a little ways, and then you're making your way kind of through the alleys and thoroughfares. You see other people scurrying, not in too much concern, but like battening things down in case there's enough of a concussion out at sea to cause large waves, and people kind of just like holing into their homes, boarding up their windows. As you make your way back to Pale Orca territory, you can see the Pale Orca Guild Hall, and it seems to be battened up, although there are some people trickling in. As you can just knock on the door and they're like letting people in, so it's not too difficult. As you arrive and enter the Guild Hall, you can see that there are people who have turned these long sort of Hogwarts dining hall tables into a little bit of a strategy table. They've got maps laid out of the general area, sea charts, and there's little like tokens on them, and they're kind of looking over them. Jace is nowhere to be seen. He's probably up in his office. You've got a couple of options from here. More, you know that from the main guild hall, you can get up to the Crow's Nest without having to go through any other, like, getting anyone else's permission. There's a large tower that raises up from the guild hall and has this kind of buttressed, almost wraparound porch. It probably was originally a crow's nest from a really large galleon, a massive ship. It has been repurposed here. Or you could go and ask any of the people in the room kind of what they know already, or you could go try and talk to Jace.
As soon as Moore gets into the doorway, he's gonna yell. He's gonna point at a person that's like huddled around one of these tables. Trickle, what the hell is going on here?
More! I don't know. No one knows. Bunch of boats coming in though. Looks like 12 large frigates.
Flying colors?
A couple you wouldn't necessarily expect to be together.
All right, I'm starting to think you're pulling my leg now. I'm gonna start moving up toward the. Follow me, guys. Come on. Moving up toward the crow's nest.
Do you not know that most flags are several colors?
I don't think that's what he means, Ollie.
Don't ask why we call him Trickle. You don't want to know. Head it up.
Yeah. You make your way out of the guild hall. There's a couple of flights of stairs in kind of a spiral tower pattern, and then you get out onto a mid-deck. It's kind of the roof of the main guild hall. It's just a large, slightly slanted deck to prevent rainfall from pooling. There's some tables up here. Usually there's some raucous drinking and stuff that goes on, but from here there is a number of rope ladders that lead up to the crow's nest. You have to climb your way up. Looking out to sea, as all of you assuredly do as soon as you make the mid-deck and heading back. Unfortunately, from here, there's still too much of the rooftops of Gafferton to see out far enough to get a good view. But yeah, that's good. Which of you, how many of you, are any of you going to attempt to climb the rope up to the crow's nest?
I'm going all the way.
I am as well.
All right.
If there's room.
Oh, my bad.
It's relatively large. Yeah, you can make an athletics check. It's gonna be basic
I don't think
action.
that's a good idea for me.
There's a climb on the basic.
Yeah, basic action macros climb.
Can you swap which Oleander is on the field?
Maybe. How about I just delete you and never replace you?
Wow.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
It's the climb.
Thank you.
Someone had to. Oh goodness. All right, what are we looking at here?
Also, can you put a new third one on there too?
Yeah.
Hey,
I'll try.
Sid, is this considered exploration?
Sure. What's it mean to you?
Vesrine can follow the expert.
What are we?
Yeah, anyone can follow the expert if one of you has an expertise in athletics.
I do.
I do.
Awesome.
Okay.
I would like to. Okay.
You
what is that?
add two to your
add two.
Oh.
I would have
Add
liked
two.
them.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Okay, I'm not gonna reroll on that one. It's fine.
Oleander attempts, and the first couple of steps, actually, you it's not that you're bad at climbing ropes,
I have a
but your
fine-
boots slip on some like a little bit of moldy rope, and they slip through, and so you go from like climbing the rope to like having both your legs and you absolutely pummel your nuts on a big thick knot of ropes right in the middle between these two, like, kind of webbing that you just...
Not the coughing, no.
And you just kind of like lay there. Like, oh.
Only if you would like children, that's not the best way of doing things.
I feel like he probably hit me when he slipped and Vesperin fell off because I rolled lower than Oleander, despite his natural 1.
But the natural 1 makes his failure a critical failure because it reduces your success rate by 1. You don't critically fail, but you do fail. You basically get a little ways up. You're a little bit hesitant. You see Ollie slip, and you climb back down.
You just tell me what happens. I'm gonna stay down here.
Kai, anything from you?
Sari, you can use your elf eyes.
What do your elf eyes see? It's funny because I think Kai has the best long distance sight of everyone. That's why I'm asking, because he has actually some tattoos, magic tattoos.
I do. I have magic eye tattoos.
Oh, do you guys both have the?
I think you both do. I think that.
I think we both do.
I think that.
I have eye slash.
Yeah,
Yes.
Kai chose that as his item at some point, and then we got them from that other guy too. I think.
Yeah, you took them off of Thomas.
I was gonna say Pierre. Forgot his name.
It just looks like a beautiful smoky eye. That's what it looks like on.
I think Kai had
That's
them
right.
though.
Oh, yeah. I think that you're right.
Page. Good talk.
You did?
Yeah,
Maybe.
kind of waiting on AJ. AJ, does he have his camera?
No.
No.
He's watching football.
Hey, that's
cares
a nice
about
torch,
football.
Jerry. What?
AJ,
Hi. Sorry, Cat called me. I took my headset off real quick. What's up?
You
been
got
talking to
cat
you for
called.
like a couple minutes. That's okay.
I didn't
Um,
want to interrupt. Y'all were doing stuff, so I just
It's
took
okay.
my headset off.
The rest of the party kind of moved up to the midship, and then they're climbing up the rope ladders, the rope netting to the crow's nest. And I was going to ask if you would like to, since you and
They're good
Vesperin
at that?
arguably have the best long distance eyesight in the game because of your tattoos, your magical tattoos. And Vesperin did not succeed.
Yeah,
at
I
the
am.
climb.
Yeah, I am most certainly going the ups. I've got something. Wait, I've got a fucking tool for this too. Let me do
Damn
a
it.
little look see.
Yeah, you
What?
should be able to use the basic action macros. The climb.
No, I've got like an equipment tool for like grappling hook. I think.
I also have a grappling hook.
Is it going to make my life any easier? Is the question.
No. A grappling hook will
Great.
make climbing something that wasn't meant to be climbed climbable. But this is like a rope net that is the only path
What about a
up to-
climbing kit?
That's I think that includes like grappling hook and harness. That's
Oh,
similar.
okay.
Yeah,
Alright,
so
okay,
this is
okay.
just going to be climbing the path as intended.
Alright, basin and it's climb.
Yep.
Climb.
Okay, excellent. So I don't mind revealing for the purposes of this that the DC is 15, which means that all of you whom attempted, if you were at least following the expert, you do in fact succeed. I think only Kijani was on the cusp, and if you add the +2 from follow the
Right,
expert,
yeah.
you do succeed.
16.
So it's not a hard climb, but it does take a little bit of work. Kijani barely he's just got small arms. He's just got,
Hey guys,
um,
wait, I swear I'm coming.
As he's like just barely able to reach the
Between
bottom
the
of the
two-
neck rung.
yeah. So with some effort, the party, with the exception of both Oleander and Vesperin, who remain on the mid deck, do make it up to the crow's nest. There's a couple of people already up here. one of which has a long spyglass. He's got a grizzled, kind of steel blue-gray beard, and as he's peering through the eyeglass, he turns back to look at you and opens both eyes. You see this eye, the one that he had closed, is actually empty. It's just like a hollow socket. The eyelash kind of flippy flapping. The eyelid kind of flippy flapping in the socket. He kind of looks back at you.
The point of closing it.
Oh,
You do this all the time, and we always. You know what? Never mind. What do you see through there?
If everyone, he hands you the spyglass. Everyone wants to make a perception check.
Perception check?
Mm-hmm.
Perception.
I assume that just means the people who made the climb.
Yes.
Okay.
Stop!
You're talking to a cat?
Sorry,
or-
not you guys.
He was very worried about us getting demonetized.
That's right.
Oh,
That's right.
because my
that-
scene
not
is
that.
so close to, yeah.
Saying that word also. That thing.
More, yours will get a +1. Oh, you still only rolled a
Yeah,
15.
not great.
Of +1 because of the
I
fine
rolled
spyglass.
privately.
I will reveal yours.
Oh, that's really bad. Really, really
Kai.
bad.
Kai,
We're rolling publicly.
I/tattoos. What does this say that you get?
I see 4 times farther than normal
Farther than normal.
is what it says.
Does that add with the spyglass?
The times the spyglass.
No.
Not a stackable buff. That's bullshit.
It's not a stackable buff. A fine spyglass allows you to see up to 8 times further. So even with your low roll, more, you probably
You
have
can
the-
see 32 times.
No.
Okay,
no.
I'd be fine with just additive, even. Okay, let's get this straight.
So as Kai stands up and kind of squints into the distance, kind of using his straw hat to keep the sun out of his eyes, and Moore holds up the spyglass. You're the only two who could see far enough to detect, to look at the flags on the ships. You can count. There are 12 ships. There seem to be 5 in the fore, 6 in the back, and 1 in the center, being almost shepherded by the others.
God.
Are you able to see what flags they're flying?
We're getting
Yeah.
there. Hold on.
Make society checks for me.
Ooh.
Society.
Can I call out what the patterns are and stuff? and
Only
maybe try to-
Kai and make your checks first, because you might seem more
Okay.
more smarter than you are, and then you can resort to phoning.
True.
a
If
friend.
you-
fair enough.
If you call them down, I can help. If you call your observations down,
Let's see.
I'm pretty good at society. And occultism.
Why am I having such a hard time with this? Oh my god. I'm doing it from-
I look over at Vesper and like, oh man, Topher's never studied the flags. As I look at his society chat.
Oh, you can reveal mine. Sorry. I'm.
You're better at tying knots than I was, though.
Yeah,
well-
more. You can easily see,
So I can describe them.
but you don't recognize any of the flags
Yeah.
being flown. Kai, you recognize one flag being flown. The flag of the ship that's being shepherded in the middle. It's an obscure pattern. It's not the standard layout for a ship from Astropor, but it is Astropoly colors, blue and gold. Half the flag cut in a diamond. Cut diagonally, gold on top, blue on bottom. You would expect to see a large black sphinx in the middle. Instead, you see a three-spired castle in the center. And you immediately recognize this. I'm giving you some buff because of your... Anyone who was from Astropor would have a better chance of recognizing this. But this is the standard for the Sulfur Citadel.
It's where the witnesses train.
Yes, exactly. So we're on the right map for this. I'll scroll out and give you guys a brief history lesson.
This
So
one, right?
here.
Yeah, I was right.
Yep. So this is Astropor, this whole spiraling region. Basically everything here that is in this archipelago and all the way up to the Amethyst Wastes, discluding the floating islands to the west. Everything else here is technically Astropor. The archipelagos are largely uninhabited, but especially over here, it's a lot of volcanic and sulfurous activity. This area is outside, just barely outside of the influence of the Triska law. So people who come here are not bound by any of the 3 laws of the Sphinxes, and that includes being able to cast spells. This is where mages from Veonaya and other parts of the world are paid to come in and be tutors to the witnesses so that they can learn their spellcraft and become incredible, fantastic spellcasters, and the only people in all of Astropor who can use spellcraft and take that knowledge back and represent kind of the spellcasting advisory portion of the government. But so there is a citadel here, Sulphurane Citadel, where the witnesses call it it's basically their home base. And there's some Astropolis citizens here, but this is where a lot of new witnesses are brought to train. And it has its own standard, its own flag, which Kai recognizes.
Motherfucker.
What? What do you see?
The one in the middle being escorted.
Yep.
Is
I'll put it in Sulphur Rain, like a kingdom reign, like a king. Sulphur Rain Citadel. There.
it's that flying the flag of the Sulphurane Citadel. I don't recognize any of the other flags, but
That name probably, the Sulphurane Citadel probably doesn't mean anything to Moore.
No.
Right.
You rolled really low. You could recognize the colors though.
Yeah.
It's Astropolis.
Oh, I know. I can count and I know my colors, guys. We're doing great.
No, I mean to say that you can place them to the nation. They're Astropolis
Okay.
colors.
Yeah.
Even if you don't know specifically the flag.
What are they doing here?
I mean,
Do you want to try and describe the flags of the others to
I
everyone
would
else
like
here?
to do that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So the first 5 ships in the front have silver, white, and like a pale sky blue colors. All of them bear a different kind of emblem in the middle. It's probably specific to the ship itself. When you start to
Is
describe
that
this
not-
aloud, go ahead, Topros.
Oh, you're about to say it. You're about to say it.
Yeah,
You're about to say it.
when you just start to describe this out loud, Topros and even Oleander from below immediately call out, that's Alabaster Fleet. So, and again, lore dump today. Sorry guys for making you either take a bunch of notes or not care. It's okay if you don't care. We'll cover it later. But the Alabaster Fleet are an elite group of largely naval mercenaries. that kind of have a reputation for taking the moral high ground. They do a lot of protective work, escort work. They do some bounty hunting too, but typically, if you need to hire a really reputable mercenary guild, and you think they're expensive, but they don't gouge people generally, and they deal in they have a good reputation for keeping up their end of the bargain. And this is the fleet that both Oleander and Topharos served in briefly when they fled Astropor.
Above Taylor, how long have we been in Gafferton?
Like, I don't know, 7 days? 6 days?
Okay.
And then as you begin to describe the colors of the vessels at the aft, the 6 vessels that are following, go ahead and you describe them out loud, and then everyone else can make a society check based on that description.
Okay.
I'm a fan of the thought that Kai saw the Sulphurine Citadel flag and just like did not give a shit about anything else.
Nope. Yeah. That makes sense.
That's the one we needed.
Oleander, you can add a +2 circumstance bonus to your roll if you're gonna make one.
Okay. Where?
Vezrin's just gonna start yelling from down below when I start describing the flag.
Where? What am I making for this? This
Society.
isn't a.
Just a society check. It's not a basic action macro. And it can be public.
Character is there's my character.
There is my character is.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
Okay, good to know. Yeah, more as you begin to describe the flag. It is a forest green color. It has a swooping pinnacle that goes right up in the middle and down the other side. And that pinnacle is filled in with, somehow they're using like a woven copper metallic color. It gleams and shines, polished copper, filling that interior swooping sort of peak. And this is the flag of Baladesh. You must have described it very poorly, because otherwise Oleander would have recognized it immediately. But Vesrin was still able to piece together your description and immediately know what you're talking about. So to
That
kind of
sounds
once
like
again-
the Baladeshi flag.
Wait a second. Are we? Could these just be people who are coming for the auction?
Why would they?
Because it's very possible that someone else knows about the
This would be a
odds.
yeah. This would also be a job that the fleet would take.
That's what I was thinking.
What do you mean?
Well, to everyone else, we're international terrorists.
No, not
No,
that.
Do
What I'm
not
saying
think they
is-
know we are here.
I'm not.
remember the
thinking-
witnesses who might be who might know about the corpse.
God.
We've
and the
not been
shots
here
and the-
long enough to have attracted that, and Bangladesh would have no reason to be coming for us. We've not. You don't know how fast ships can travel. That is impossible for them to have organized that quickly, and that the fastest of those ships couldn't have left the nearest port since we left and gotten here. They were planning
Ollie,
to get here far before.
We live in a world with magic.
I've been on.
Yes,
I've been
but
working
no, I
10
am
years,
I'm of the
Veteran.
same
You
opinion.
You can talk to me all you want, but I know ships better than you do, and I've been doing this for 10 years.
I understand that. Who's to say that they travel exclusively by ship? That's what I'm saying.
The
The fleet, yes, but you think
we're
they came
saying
all the way from Astropol?
I think that the fleet from Astropor, that ship was coming here, and has been for some time. I think that ships from Baladesh have nothing to do with us, because I'm the only one I think that's been to Baladesh in this group. Yes.
Yes.
I think they're just coming here for the
They-
auction, and I think some
I
of the
do not
dark
think they do.
witnesses know about the shards and are trying to also gather the shards.
Dark witnesses?
Yeah, the
Well,
dock
we
witnesses.
know
The ones
know
who
that they're
hang out on the
witnesses.
dockside and watch all the passerby.
We know that there are
Wait,
witnesses that
wait.
are relatively good, and we know the ones that are not good.
Listen,
We
y'all
know
aren't
that there are
interested in
witnesses that do
in
not
these
agree with
cases.
each other. Whether or not we want to discuss morality is another thing.
Well, I'm saying the dark ones are the ones who want to kill us. That's why that's the one I'm referencing.
Sure.
We are obviously not the evil ones in the situation. Or we could be, but
I don't
perception
know.
is
We're
relative.
international terrorists, reportedly.
Hey, hey, shut up! There are people around us.
There are people here.
Yes.
Yeah, like
Yeah, luckily,
Criminals.
luckily
Shouting
he
from the
doesn't
bottom
have-
of a rope ladder. Shut the
Yeah,
fuck
and
up.
I don't know. We are international terrorists.
I mean,
But
We already
Vestford says
told
this with
David.
withering sarcasm. I don't think anybody who has two brain cells to rub together would think that she was being serious about being international terrorists.
Listen, Lucky here, the one with one eye, he doesn't hear very well either, so you're probably good.
His
What?
name is Lucky.
I mean, you gotta be pretty lucky to
I
lose
feel
an eye
like
and
this
still be able
involves
to.
an explosion
What?
that took an eye in his hearing. Yes, okay.
Yeah, upon further inspection, he is also missing his right arm. It's mechanical.
So the man
Just don't ask him to
has
talk about it. He never
one
showed-
eye and can't hear, and for some reason, this is the person that they've tasked with surveillance for
lookout.
the
Yeah, he's the
entire
lookout.
guild.
What?
I mean, he can see just fine out of the one, I'm sure, right?
What else are you gonna ask him to do?
Are you sure?
Maybe it's a magical right eye. Maybe he also lost both eyes. It's just one
Yeah,
of them.
there's
is
magic in
now.
this world, by the
Yeah.
way.
He's
Hey, what?
Mad Eye Moody.
They call me Lucky. Why? Because I still have one testicle.
Okay. So, needless to say, that we need to be wary of being seen. Maybe.
I want to know who's on that ship.
Sure, that is fine, but we may not want to be seen.
I take out the wig more seriously this time.
Wait.
I don't think the wig is okay. All right.
Uh,
I think that we can do reconnaissance without necessarily being noticed. I mean, nobody would know that we are here. The last time that we were seen was and recognized was back in Fairnight.
Sure, but I'm simply saying for some people, it's not that hard to have a memory of a young face and justify what it would look like when it is older.
It depends on who would be on that ship. We we were children. I think there is some reasonable doubt when you see an adult.
Not when
Speaking
you see.
of from someone who's got some pretty interesting colored skin, I think they might remember someone that's green.
Or
Hey,
someone
let's
with blue hair.
Let's are normal in the city. We are not
Yeah, but-
strange.
3 elves, a gnome, a leshy, and.
Well, we don't go as an entire
All
group.
enter a bar.
It's not.
all enter a bar.
And then
Can't
the bomb
hippocampi.
explodes.
It is-
And then
Completely
I-
reasonable to
an
think that.
Ifrit betrays them.
He's is that what
I
they're
don't
called?
remember what it is.
Ifrit?
If,
I don't know what, and I don't remember. He's humanist. I think his main race, but I don't remember for sure.
I think if
It
two
is.
of the elves went by themselves, that is inconspicuous enough.
Well, technically, I think that's less inconspicuous because elves are less common in public places, not public places, but more populated places.
Civilized
No one has ever
places.
reacted to seeing them strangely. They probably believe they're half elves.
Yeah, the people in Gaffertown, yes. The people in Gaffertown, yes, but people from Astropol might only know of elves as those who integrate with society. I don't know. I'm just saying it's possible that they might confuse. It doesn't matter. Go ahead.
I have an above table question.
Yeah.
Didn't we still like have collars that they just changed colors?
Yeah.
Uh,
Witnesses
Oh.
would
Can
be able
Hexalon
to see.
see that still?
Yeah.
Well, AJ just
That's a
gave us
good-
We don't
thank
know
you,
that
AJ.
outside of.
that's
We
a
don't
good
know that.
memory.
But here's what
True.
we don't know that,
We
but
do know
guess who did still know that? Sid. Thank you, AJ. No one's going anywhere. We're all staying here.
We're all sitting right here. Yeah,
I-
I don't think that is an above table. I think that's
Yeah.
on table.
No, that is fair. I almost said it in character, but like I couldn't remember if we actually did.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I can't make.
And
Little
that-
light bulb over
And
Kidani.
Sid was waiting for us not to do anything until he could just say, "Oh, you guys sell cars on," and then all of a sudden,
We
see,
ain't- the thing is that it doesn't matter that we have that thought because what are we gonna do about it anyway?
Yeah, right. We kind of concealed them. We were able to
we
put
use
stuff
stars
like
or something.
over
Well, I mean,
them
you know,
that
it's-
sort of worked.
Yeah, what we're gonna do about it is not be as visible as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. For people coming to watch this later and to Devin's sake, in case you're curious what's going on here, in Astropor, turns out everybody has this like glowing collar around their necks. Most people can't see them; they're completely invisible. There is a sort of genetic mutation that causes some people in Astropor to be called Hexalin. They have, instead of circular irises, they have six-sided polygons as the pupil, I should say. And they have the potential to become witnesses, which is to say, they are not bound by the laws of the land. They can use magic. They can break all the laws of
Yeah, those are the
Astropor.
ones that you're training with the
Yes, they are sent to Sulphurane to be to become Astropor's only like arcanely trained or divinely or occultly trained casters in all of Astropor, since otherwise magic is not able to be cast by mortals in Astropor. Hexalin can see the collars on people, as plain as day, glowing sigils. The assumption is that this just represents those people being bound to the Triska law, the three major laws of the land. So Astroporian citizens have these collars.
But we specifically have collars that are a different color because we are not bound by the Triska law because of
They were able to break free of the Triska law and get a different sort of mantle when they acquired the vertices. This is getting really deep in the story, but I mean, you just let me go until you're ready for me to stop. They acquired the vertices from the god's corpse in God's Eye Bay, accidentally as like 10-year-olds, and with these powers over creation itself, they were able to break free of the Triska law, and each of them now has power over a certain vertex of the cube. And that was manifest. Hexalin can see that as a different color, bright gold, sort of almost like a mantle rather than a collar. The blue sort of sigils that represent the Triska law almost appear like a choker or a dog collar to a Hexalin, but the mantle of the vertices almost looks like a stole or something a little more refined and dignified, and it's made of bright gold sigils. So it's very evidently recognizable to Hexalin. Now, there are extremely few Hexalin in the world. most of the known living Hexlan are already witnesses. They're working for the government, or they're retired from being witnesses. I think there's like a total of 9 known Hexlan in all of Astropor. So it's like an extremely small number of people. But one of them is one of the party's previous associates, a little girl named Evie, who, Genevieve, who was kind of being groomed to be the next witness.
It's giving Cerberus Assembly.
Yeah.
But that's cool.
Yeah.
So yes, with that background firmly in place, as some of you descend and join the rest of the party down on the main deck, you now, of course, realize that there are 6 frigates coming in. You got a bit of a better view. They're not all huge, but many of them are large frigate-class ships sailing in. There are a couple of galleons, which are kind of more for trade and transport, whereas frigates are clearly warships. So there's kind of a mix. There's 6 Baladesheri ships, 5 Alabaster Fleet ships. Although I will say you can have spent some effort in identifying those ships, because you've got 2 members who could identify them by their flag specifically if you describe them. And then the 1 Sulphurane Citadel ship.
Yeah,
I was
can't
going
actually
to
go up there and
Yeah, sorry. I was going to see if there was any other information I could glean using my sailing lore.
Yeah,
But you've
yeah.
already given some of the like warships, like stuff that would be more relevant
Yeah.
to the guild.
Yeah, I would say that's probably what you gather from that, is that there's the different classes of ships, all large. Some are clearly carrying probably trade goods. Others are probably an escort.
Yeah,
if you had
it's
to
clear
guess,
that they're here for protection more than anything.
the 5 in the front definitely are. They're mercenary ships.
Yep.
Alabaster Fleet ships are all mercenary ships. They aren't necessarily trade ships. Although they do some trading, they aren't like big fat rounded galleons. They are for speed and artillery. The Baladesheri ships, if you had to guess, the Baladesheri ships probably just joined to sail alongside, to sail in numbers. They probably didn't set out at the same time or from the same destination by any means. And they are their own escort trade vessel combo. Those 6 ships.
So much more like versatile vessels, but not like.
Yeah, there aren't any really fast, like what you would call raider or sloops or chase vessels. There aren't any like small, nimble vessels that would go out and kind of like blitzkrieg hit and run. That would be like more pirate tactics. Many of the vessels here in Gafferton are outfitted in such a way, but there aren't any of those.
Cool. Okay. Well, you guys know how to make a damn entrance, don't you?
Well,
at least your nation, anyway. Come
I
on,
don't
we
play
need to
them
go tell
anymore.
the guild the
They
rest
don't
of
play
this
me
stuff.
anymore either.
And Moro will begin to climb back down to take what information he can to the guild.
Okay. We'll give that a brief moment while you head down to speak with some of the guild members. Who, assume the rest of the main party is going to stay on the main deck, or would you like to also descend into the guild hall?
I mean, I'll go into the guild hall probably.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. In that case, all of you descend back down the spiral stair into the main drinking hall. People are still gathered around these kind of sea charts, speculating at the vessels that are approaching Gafferton. Don't typically come to port here. It's not at all unusual for an Alabaster Fleet ship here and there to come to Gafferton to trade, to resupply on food and water, even in the attempt to pick up like to following up on bounties, as they are often bounty hunters. But it's very uncommon for 4 or 5 of them to be traveling together and come to Gafferton. Actually, it's uncommon for 5 of them to travel together at any time. It'd be an exorbitantly expensive
chart, extreme show of force, and
yes,
and wealth. Yeah,
it's literally extreme. Did you want to try and recognize any of the Alabaster Fleet ships specifically?
I guess before we went down, I might have rushed that a little bit. I would have offered the spyglass to those that didn't have sight.
I'll actually go up there.
Yeah, sorry.
Try them too. No, you're good.
Yeah, make that athletics check.
Ooh.
Having recovered from the debacle of your first attempt, you very carefully and very easily scale the rope, as if you were born at sea, and you gain the crow's nest, hopping over the lip.
Look like you've done that a time or two.
The falling, or
well,
can I take the
take the spyglass?
We've all been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to roll for this. One of these ships is the Iron Albatross. 3 of the other ships you don't necessarily recognize by their colors, and 2 of them one of them you do. Wait, is that right? 5. I can't math. It's Iron Albatross. 2 of them you recognize, and 2 of them you don't.
Okay.
You can name the other 2. They're not going to be. That's a way of me accidentally telling you they're not super plot relevant, but like I don't want to come up with the names on top of my head. But you would have this knowledge. You recognize their emblem. You know a couple of people on both of those ships. So take some time, not putting you on the spot, but like come up with some names for those 2 ships. So it's the Iron Albatross, 2 that you know of, and then 2 that you're not really familiar with.
Was it the Iron Albatross, the ship that was docked when the Astroport blew up?
Yes, that's the ship that you all fled on.
That's the ship that Topher was on for 10 years.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, that didn't just come out of nowhere. I recognize that name.
Yes. The gentleman who was hired to guard you by Nolan, whose name escapes me? Jerry?
Gaswano.
Who was like in the safe house with you guys and took you to the Arborane Citadel in Manapriet. He was he was impersonated by a changeling at first. He was a sailor on the Iron Albatross. So as you all descend back into the guild hall, it's around 2 or 3 p.m., 2:30, you're not exactly sure. There's not a clock anywhere in here, but all this commotion has been plenty enough reason for someone to open the bar. And one of the members of the Pale Orca crew is now behind the bar. He's tapped a keg and is pouring room temperature, honey-colored something into a brown tankard.
Moore is gonna stomp across the room, swipe one of the tankers right before somebody else reaches to grab it, and say, Trickle, write this down.
Oi, sir!
And he's gonna convey the information that we learned above deck. Mainly concerning like the show of force and who these people are, and that we believe that they're here. They might be here for the auction. We're not entirely sure, but that's our conjecture at this point.
You walk over and look over his shoulder. Complete chicken scratch. You would be very hard pressed to decipher any of it, but he seems to be pretty confident that he could read it.
Great work, Trickle. Hey, anybody seen David?
I think he's in his office.
All right. I'll go over and knock on the door.
You knock on the door. You hear something in the room fall. Oh, shit. 1 minute. You hear the sound of something scraping across the floor. And then footsteps come. Thump, thump, thump. More. Good to see you. Yes. What can I do for you?
You need another minute there?
No.
So it was a fast one this
Come
time.
on in.
Okay, great.
Come on in. I don't know what you're talking about. You walk in.
The window open?
The window is wide open. He walks and sits down behind his desk and starts rifling through papers. Glassy-eyed. It's clearly a show of organization. Has no idea what any of these papers say. Let's go here. Yes.
Fine
Yes.
afternoon we're having, yeah?
A fine afternoon. What's all the commotion? I heard the bells.
Did you?
Yes.
Yeah. No,
Yes.
Anyway.
Investment smirks.
Anyway, once again, feeling like a broken record, relayed the information.
Now that's interesting. I knew this auction was going to draw some attention. But from Astropor, and make me shiver. I mean, not that people from not that I didn't.
No, they suck.
Ah.
All of them.
Not
But
all of
probably
them.
the ones that are traveling here.
Are they're a particular kind of Astroporian citizen? Is it
Yeah.
Astropoli royalty? Sorry, my politics is outside of Galaxy.
You
Not
could
worth
say that.
explaining, I don't think.
Effectively,
Yeah, I think
though.
royalty is probably the best way to think about that. Except not, by no means powerless.
Like minor royalty, like a lordling.
Hmm.
Yes.
No.
Yes, no.
I mean,
Or
they are
like a
treated.
national adjudicator? Like a judge of sorts.
A magistrate.
That's probably
Uh,
closer.
yes.
Probably closer to it to get to where it is.
Astroport's so weird. Have you ever
It
been?
is.
He's talking to him more.
I was about to say.
like,
Have I ever
Uh,
been? Probably.
Up to you. Maybe, maybe not. If you have, it's been. If you have, you have just gone to the ports and back, like not spent a ton of time in the outside of the.
I mean, yeah, we stopped for
touristy section.
long enough to drop a few cases and whatever else off, but I'm, never spent any time there.
You'll know that people, and I've probably described this to you before, but like, even entering the bounds of Astropor is an unusual experience for people from outside of Astropor. How old did you say you were?
Mid-20s.
Okay, great. So there are these divine laws in Astropor. They prevent mortals from casting spells, but not necessarily from using magic. You can use magic items and potions and things. They prevent mortals from being enslaved or entrapped in any way. You can't be bound by the wrist. You can't be closed or locked in a room. You can't be enslaved. Although the mobs and underbelly of Astropor has found ways around that by using like addictive drugs and things to effectively enslave people. But the third law is that everyone lives to be pretty much without, barring accident or malice, they live to be 100 years old, and they on their 100th year they have a ceremony where they become starlight and ascend to the sky. So like it's a known quantity. You live to be this age, and so like it's very important that people of your race who go there not be over 100, or they would instantly. Also, it's weird not to
But
cast
this-
spells. You don't have spells, but like you travel with people who distinctly have this kind of like suppressive feeling when they enter the Ashport region.
So this is going to be a problem because if any of the witnesses want the shards, we don't want them to have them.
Well, the biggest issue that we face right now is if there is a Hexalin on that boat, witness or not, and they are going to be at the auction. How do we bid? We cannot be visible.
But if we were,
We can have our
I
dwarf
thought-
friends help us out there.
Yeah, our current plan is to do it through other people anyway, so that is less of an issue there. Does make this more pressing still, though.
It does.
I would have liked to have been there and ensure things go smoothly, but
Well, perhaps we can go and just lay low. Saradrin said. As long as we don't draw particular attention to ourselves.
I suppose, but we'll still have to conceal our
Yes. Quite so.
accessories. Those are attention grabbing for those who might be able to see them.
I would be lying if I said I'm not concerned.
I'm very concerned.
I mean,
This is potentially
Oh.
extremely dangerous for us.
David, do
yes,
you
yes.
know what a Hexalin is? I would judge not by your look. Okay.
Betrin launches into a like academic explanation of the history and politics of Astropor as far as Hexalins and the witnesses and how they're chosen and all of it. It takes like a half hour. It's like a whole thing. It's
Perfect. He needed that. And then at the end, Kijani goes, yes, that. Perfectly that. Can you have somebody try and identify if one of those is on that ship?
they have strange looking pupils. I don't know if
They're
I
easy
mentioned
to
that.
recognize.
Yeah, I mean, sure, maybe. I was really hoping it was going to be some sort of exotic beverage, but that was a lot to take in. Yeah, we could do some scouting. Definitely gather some information. Is there any reason that you mentioned a couple of times about being concerned about being seen by these individuals? There's a reason you want my people to do it, not yourselves.
let's just
Yes.
say let's just say they would immediately know who we are, know
Wait.
things about us if they saw us.
Okay. Things you don't want.
To anyone else in the world, we would just look like 6 individuals. But not to
A
these ones.
very strangely gathered group of 6 individuals, but yes.
That's true. But Hexalins are able to
The other
BBM
reason we
scene.
do not go.
they're able to see a deeper aspect of ourselves that is not outwardly visible to others.
I know this is all very cryptic, but it's better that you don't know.
That's actually true.
Okay. Yes, I can definitely send someone down to the docks. Make sure we've got people keeping an eye out. I mean, news will travel. We'll see what shows up.
it is largely important that we know if there's a hexagon, that we know if there is and how many are there. And
And a
And
description.
above table, and
that,
yeah, well, yes, okay, thank you. AJ said what I was gonna say. I was gonna say more words, but that's the better way of saying it.
what did he say?
He said,
A
and a
description.
description. I was gonna
The
say,
description.
and if the female that matches
Oh,
this description, then we need to know even more so. But yeah,
If I had to, if it was a witness and not a witness in training or whatever has happened, then my guess would be Tunika. But that is just recency bias, really. She's the only one that we know is not on our side.
Right, I'll send someone right away. They should be docking here in the next. He looks at more.
I don't know, maybe a couple hours. I don't know.
A couple of hours, yeah. We got plenty of time. I've really been keeping an eye on the situation. His eyes dart to the window. So I'll be sure
Sure.
to keep on top of that.
Thank you.
well,
While we're here, though, there was something else they wanted to talk to you about. I think. Right.
Like what?
I don't think it was
Look,
all
nothing's-
of us. I think it was largely
nothing's
something
going
the
on
veteran was talking to
between-
you about.
The Red Jays and I. Cardinal Fazluin.
We would never assume such a thing.
I mean, we would, but that's not
And
what we're
also-
here to talk
yeah.
about.
And look, we just got here like a week ago. I'm not gonna judge you for your life, man.
Yeah, no one.
I don't know. That's just me.
I'm a plant. I
Okay.
don't even really know how you.
So what is what did you want to talk to me about?
Oh, literally nobody else wants. Okay.
I just look at veteran.
So yeah, this whole auction thing, they like to rig shit. It's Blue Maw, of course they do. But listen, would we be in any way interested in warp glass?
Warp glass. Valuable. And
Know
holds
anybody
its
that wants
value.
it?
More valuable than gold per ounce. So it's a good way to store assets. But I don't have a particular interest in it.
It's part of a lot that also includes a sunstone that that individuals from Lavis Pierce are interested in. And the other piece of that lot is a shard that our group is particularly interested in.
I produce a similar shard.
Looks,
So
looks
you're looking to
very
build a
much like
buyer's
that.
coalition to bid on this lot.
That's correct. I've already spoken with the representatives from Lavis Pierce, and they were unwilling to work with us without more significant financial backing. I thought if you had an interest in warp glass, then
Make a basic action macros. Make an impression. It's under exploration, I think.
you scratch my back, I scratch yours. No. Hang on,
Yeah,
sorry. I
Exploration.
chose the basic action macros.
Yeah.
Oh, and under exploration. Just like you said,
Yeah.
Why?
It's never been easier.
Yeah, there's a whole tab there. That you've
Uh,
never-
will this be blind?
I don't know.
It'll do what it does.
Make an impression is a public roll. Public roll.
Okay, so then I may reserve the right to use a hero point here.
Okay. Whatever you just did caused my. Can you guys hear me?